Let it go.
Breaker, Crunchers, welcome to issue 75 of Couch Crunchers, where we just don't know how to let it go in the freezing cold of Colorado here. With me, live in the flesh, is Lancewell Speroni, the list master, or AKA Sergeant of the series.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
So I'm going to be weird and just show you guys that Lance is right there. See?
Hi.
He's real in person, in the flesh. And he's up here visiting me and my wife, and it's been fun. It's been a good time.
The weather has been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been kind of nice though.
Right now it's been nice, but like over the weekend, like I wasn't able to drive here because there was snow on the road or ice on the road and everything like that. It was just nuts, man.
Yeah, no, it was. Better now, luckily. But we've got a fantastic show for y'all today. We are going to be talking. Maybe. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Again, sorry for broadcasting on a Tuesday instead of a Saturday, just due to weather and everything. We couldn't do it, and we wanted to do it in person since Lance was going to be here. Sorry if you hear a bunch of noise in the background. His whole family's here, so
yeah,
it's loud.
Max has been nice enough to open his home.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
To my terrible children.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're wonderful, except for when they're not. All right, well, we're going to get going with Fab or Flub. If you don't listen to the show regularly, or if this is your first time, Fab or Flub is a segment where we talk about some headlines and decide whether or not we think they are fabulous or flubulous. First on the docket is that AMC has said that the door is open for Rick Grimes to return on the Walking Dead show, not just in the movie, but in his own show.
And meanwhile, the actor said, "F no."
Really? I didn't see that.
There's a reason he left, and it wasn't the studio's choice that he left.
Yeah, I mean, he probably gave the PC version of it. He basically just said that he wanted to be with his family and that filming a TV show was very demanding, but there may have been other reasons.
What's his name? I can't remember his name for the life.
Andrew Lincoln.
Lincoln, that's what it is. Yeah. No, he has no desire to
go
back to a televised.
I say flub. I mean, I want him back. I really like Rick Grimes. I think he's great, but I don't know. I think it'd be weird. You know, they're bringing him into the movie, and that should be interesting, but I don't know.
The whole idea of a movie, though, is just kind of like annoying, and it's because like the whole show has been premised as each episode is like cinematic quality and like this movie quality, right? And now they're coming out with a feature-length movie that's now you're gonna have to wait longer in between like sequels and stuff like that. And it's just I don't know. Everybody's trying the Marvel formula, and I'm not sure if it's going to translate for Walking Dead. I don't know. Yeah. I think the show's going to get canceled eventually.
I'm ready for it too.
Their viewership's been going down. Now Michonne is leaving, and now I heard a rumor that they might kill off Daryl and all this other stuff. Like it's just slowly slipping. It's losing all its anchors.
Yeah, I'm tired of it. Have you watched any of the new season?
No. I wanted to see it, and then they had a bunch of heads on a pike, and some of those were, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was last season.
Yeah, I haven't seen that last season, but I saw that, and I saw who they killed off, and I was like a little annoyed because now I have no attachment to pretty much anyone on the show.
I'm trying to remember who they killed.
I loved that girl, the one that was going to be Carl's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, that was
Enid or whatever her name was. Yeah, I was upset that they killed her. Then
I don't want to have to ruin it for people that are super behind.
It was a year ago.
Absolute Geek is saying you guys are wrong. We're so wrong. I get it. Lots of people really like The Walking Dead. I enjoyed last season. It was fun. It was enjoyable. But I'm getting tired of it. I've said on the show many times, though, I really don't like when shows go on for too long. It drives me a little bit crazy. So Supernatural being 15 seasons, that's nuts to me.
Yeah, but Supernatural, it has the benefit of there's no source material. You know what I mean? So they can, and the writing has been pretty good. You know what I mean? So they've been making each season a little bit more entertaining, and it's been carrying on. The Walking Dead, though, and you have actors that don't want to leave, right?
Yeah.
So you don't run that risk of, like, if Dean left Supernatural and Sam was just hanging around, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The show would lose something. Or if
Absolute Geek says he's going to have to give us a thumbs down. We're so wrong.
Or
sounds like a poor sport there. I don't know which one of you from Absolute Geek it is, but man,
it's probably Matt.
Probably.
So, or any of those shows, like when they lose a main character, it just kind of like loses a little bit of its steam.
Sure.
The Office is a prime example.
I liked the last 2 seasons, but when Michael left, it
lost a lot.
It lost a lot.
Or Scrubs. They lost pretty much everyone, and that
season 9 was atrocious.
Yeah,
it was
horrible.
An abomination.
It's really hard to recover when you lose your anchor.
That's how Vikings has been. Vikings midway through season 4 lost one of the main characters, and it just hasn't been as good since. Like,
right,
they're in season 6 now. I think season 6 starts in like a week or 2. Season 5 was fine. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't nearly as good. Like, I was hooked to seasons 1 through 4 of that show. Because I came into it late. I came into it like early this year. And I just binged the crap out of it. And then season 4, they killed off the main character. And I'm like, I just lost interest. They try to introduce new ones that are interesting and they're okay. But I don't know. I'm not into it.
We got a lot of thumbs down right now. Hey, Matt, instead of talking shit, why don't you just come on the show? and defend Walking Dead's honor, buddy.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next one so that Matt doesn't get too mad. All right. This is another touchy subject, though. Rian Johnson, an individual that many would say is a murderer of Star Wars, has said that he wants to direct an episode of The Mandalorian.
No.
No?
Even though Bryce Dallas Howard directed the last one, and it shocked me when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ron Howard's daughter.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was a good episode, especially, you know, they made the ATST. That's right? Is it right? They made it look so much more like it was an actual threat. You know what I mean? And that was probably her call. I thought she did a really good job. So maybe Rian Johnson. I mean, he's directed other stuff. What are the things
he's directed? Knives Out, which is getting a lot of praise. Like, I'm totally okay with him directing an episode of The Mandalorian. Maybe just don't let him write it. That's what I didn't like.
Did he write that second?
He wrote The Last Jedi. And I just... I'm
going to look up his writing credits real quick.
It's not terrible. I think he wrote Knives Out. I mean, he can do good things. I just don't know that I like him for Star Wars.
From what I'm seeing, he did not write Knives Out.
Oh, just
directed it.
Well, then
now, there's some movies here that he wrote.
Like?
Not all of them. Okay, so he wrote Looper. And Looper...
I like Looper.
While I liked Looper had some plot miscues and stuff like that. It wasn't a perfect movie.
No.
He wrote Brick, which also... He must have like a love relationship with Joseph Gordon-Levitt or something. He's done Brick, Looper, Hit Record, which is... Joseph Gordon-Levitt's TV show, that thing that he does.
Uh-huh.
But as far as writing goes, I mean, he's done a lot of shorts, but his biggest movies were Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, here it is. Written by Knives Out. So he did do Knives Out. So he's only wrote Knives Out, Looper, and Brick in the Star Wars movie. If anything was significant.
So Knives Out, from what I've heard, is really good. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Really want to. I liked Looper. It's not perfect, but I don't think most people would look at it and say, "Wow, what a terribly written movie." You know, it's got issues.
It just wasn't.
It's got issues, but it's okay.
Perfect.
The Last Jedi. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The fact that they got 3 different writers to write, well, I guess 2 different writers to write a trilogy, was the stupidest idea. Well, you should have just had one team of writers write the entire trilogy.
Well, they were trying to...
Because bringing in Rian Johnson totally derailed everything that J.J. Abrams
they were trying
set up.
the Marvel. They were trying the Marvel thing. Everybody's trying the Marvel thing, right?
Yeah, well,
because James Gunn wrote Guardians of the Galaxy. But
he did Guardians 1 and 2. At least he did 1 and 2.
Yeah, but it has to fit into the overarching theme of those 20 movies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The Joseph John Francis Daly, he's the guy from Bones. He plays Lance on Bones, and he's from Freaks and Geeks. He wrote the first Spider-Man, him and his writing partner. So they've had all these different actors come in and write.
Yeah,
or different directors.
Someone though. You've got Kevin Feige who knows what the hell he's doing.
That's the thing. That's
and
what
Kathleen
they're
Kennedy doesn't. You guys heard my rant last week on the show, I think.
Yeah, where she talks about
she's an
material.
Idiot. She's an idiot.
Yeah, she's a moron.
So that.
All we've been screaming about for the last, I don't know.
More like Joseph Gordon. Love it.
All we've been screaming about for the last 3-4 years is how much we wanted to see a Knights of the Old Republic movie. The Star Killer one that I like. What's it called?
Oh yeah, Force Unleashed. That'd be cool.
We want to see one based on him. We want to see this. Like, there's so many things that they could do. There was that book that you just read this year or last year. It was a really good book. What was it? Star Wars book.
Talking about the Thrawn books?
Yeah.
I mean, they brought Thrawn into canon, and they did a good job.
Yeah, but he has a whole story that you could
adapt
into.
You could definitely explore Thrawn more.
Yeah.
In the films, yeah.
And look at the Mandalorian. I mean, there's so many things that you can pull from the Mandalorian story, and Jon Favreau did it beautifully. But that's why I think they need to maybe get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. And if the rumor is true about Jon Favreau leading the ship, that would be fantastic.
Based on Mandalorian, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
Absolute Geek is saying from what has come out, Rian Johnson didn't even watch Force Awakens. If that's true, that's just stupid.
I have a really hard time, and I'm not saying Matt's wrong or anything, but I have a really hard time believing that.
It is hard to believe.
How do you write a movie and you didn't even see the first one?
You never know.
There's characters that translate from one to the next. Like, how do you know their backstories?
Maybe he didn't watch the movie, but he read the script. I mean, he had to have done something, But at any rate, like The Last Jedi has a lot of issues, and we will. We're going to be talking about this more because, FYI to our listeners, we are actually for the next 3 weeks going to be talking Star Wars each week. Not today, but on our next episode, on which we're going to do later this week. It's probably not going to be live, unfortunately, but we're going to do an episode later this week. We're going to talk about The Force Awakens. And then the next week, we're going to talk about The Last Jedi. And then, of course, the week after that will be when the Rise of Skywalker comes out. So we're going to be doing that. So we'll talk more about The Last Jedi here in a couple weeks. But the point is, Rian Johnson didn't do the best job. And so I don't mind him directing it so long as he doesn't write it. But I can see where most people would not want him to. Yeah,
I'm looking into this thing. Apparently, Rian Johnson is saying that he communicated with J.J. Abrams throughout the whole
writing
and directing.
Well, then maybe J.J. Abrams is dumb too. But
I don't know. But J.J. Abrams seems to not be able to write a story that's not a rehash of previous, like Star Trek. And we watched The Force Awakens last time. Like, I never realized how similar this was.
It's really similar to A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of J.J.
Larry,
Abrams.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Speaking of J.J. Abrams, we have some more Star Wars news. And I'm going to just read this whole quote from J.J. Abrams from IGN. So here's what J.J. Abrams said. He said, the reaction to Star Wars, the increased attacks, the increased negativity, the fandom menace, as they call it, that is not unique to Star Wars, obviously. And I think we live in a time where if you're not being divisive, if you're not creating something that's aversive, quick bait, something sometimes you don't feel like you're playing the game. And then he continues to say, I always loved Star Wars because it's got a huge heart. Did I always believe in and agree with every single thing that happened in every movie, whether it was the prequels or the original trilogy? No. But do I love Star Wars? Yes. So for me, I hope, and I'm sure naively, we can return to a time where we give things a bit more latitude. We don't have to agree with every single thing to love something. What do you think about his?
I think that it's a cop-out.
Really?
Because I think he's saying that you can't make something that's different and please the core fan base. But Kevin Feige's taken some risks, right, with Captain Marvel and things like that.
Yeah.
But he's taken risks that everybody else is like, oh, that turned out great. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the casting of Star-Lord or the casting of Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, all these things worked out fantastically in their favor.
Sure.
I think the difference between what Star Wars does and now what Marvel's doing currently with Captain Marvel and things like that is they're shoving things down your throat, right? They're not trying to make something that's different for the sake of making something that's interesting and fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're making things different and shoving political things down your throat. Like I think Last Jedi did a lot of that.
What was political about milking or about Luke milking an alien?
What?
That was just dumb.
No, there are some dumb things. Like it didn't even seem like it was creative for that aspect. But there's things about certain characters being revealed as gay or all these things, and it just
who was revealed as gay?
No, there
what
was
am I forgetting?
Rumors that they were going to do things like
Sorry,
this.
I'm just like, did I miss something?
Captain Marvel, they're doing that stuff.
Yeah,
and a lot of the new Marvel movies are doing those kind of things, and I think that's what's different when you piss off your fanboys is because they don't understand why you had to make something different, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't serve a purpose. Like, why make a prominently Asian character white or something like that, a white actor, or vice versa or something like that?
Yeah.
Why do those things? Because it makes no sense. There's no reason to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where you get pissed off. Like, for instance, the Sonic the Hedgehog thing.
Yeah.
What was the reason to make him look so lifelike when you just had Detective Pikachu come in and he looks like Pikachu and nobody can mistake that that's Pikachu?
Yeah.
That was a success. Why make Sonic look different?
I agree.
And people revolted.
And they changed it, luckily. I have a feeling that Detective Pikachu, they were working on Sonic's design before Detective Pikachu ever came out. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, luckily they're changing that. But yeah, why change it so drastically? It's interesting. So like, I totally get where you're coming from, and in some ways it is a cop out. But at the same time, I do agree with what J.J. Abrams is saying here. Like, we don't have to agree with every single thing that is done to love it. Like, I love Star Wars so much. I don't agree with everything that Disney's been doing. I don't hate The Last Jedi, but I didn't love it. And Solo was just okay. It wasn't great, but I still love that world. And for me, a movie or two that are just not great aren't going to ruin an entire fandom for me.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I agree with you that you can take something, you can change it, and it'll still be good. Like you said, maybe change is the wrong word with what I'm about to say, but like, instead of
more true.
No, so like they use Scott Lang instead of
Hank Pym,
who I think, and this isn't the best example because there are a lot of people that know Scott Lang right now, even before the movies, as Ant-Man. But Hank Pym's the original. They decided to go with someone else, and it paid off. Or casting Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, like you said, kind of a strange casting unknowns as Thor. Chris Hemsworth is pretty much an unknown, and he was fantastic, and he's blown up since. So like, Marvel has done a good job at taking risks and then paying off. DC is starting to do the same. Like, Joker, you were giving us a movie about Joker. How many times on this show did we say that it was a stupid idea?
We talked about it.
Matt from Absolute Geek said this is the dumbest thing. Like, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but like, Matt wasn't super on board with the idea either, but it was awesome. Like, super good. So risks definitely can pay off. And so I think J.J. Abrams' comments here are a bit of a cop-out, but at the same time, I agree with him. I think it's okay to take risks, and sometimes they don't pay off, and you shouldn't absolutely just hate something now because of risk.
Right.
Are you going to hate DC because some of the movies were bad? The comics have, the previous comics were still good. The original, Dark Knight trilogy was great. Batman 1989 was great. You know what I mean? Like, at least I think so.
Dark Knight trilogy great.
I would.
The last one wasn't very good, in my opinion, but
generally they were well liked.
The thing that drives me nuts about DC is the fact that I wish they would listen to their fans a little bit more, because the fans are saying, "Hey, we want Henry Cavill.
I agree. They're slow.
We don't want you to change it. We just want you to get people in that's going to take what you currently have and make it better." You know, you didn't see Iron Man 2 was a horrible. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't that great.
No.
And you didn't see Marvel come through and just cancel the whole thing, right? They kept trudging on, and they put a little bit more in motion and things like that. Instead, freaking DC just cancels it, comes out the Joker. And I want to see Henry Cavill keep continuing with the cape. I want to see Ben Affleck keep going as Batman. I want to see these things. I just don't want to see Zack Snyder involved.
Yeah, and on that note, we actually have a headline from that. So Henry Cavill doesn't know if a Snyder Cut actually exists, but wants to focus on the future of Superman. And based on like his comments in the article that I was reading earlier, let's see what he says. So they asked him if he'd seen a Snyder Cut. He says he hasn't. He doesn't know if it even exists.
Well, he wasn't in that much of Justice League anyway. So
it's true. And he says, I would rather talk about what is going to happen in the future of Superman, how I can express that character from the comic books, which ties nicely to Man of Steel. I really liked that movie, and I'd like to be able to tell the story where it was left at that point. I would love to see a Man of Steel 2, a proper one, because Batman v Superman kind of is, but it's not, because it's focusing on two characters at once. So I agree. Like, fans like Henry Cavill, we don't know if he's going to be Superman in the future. They haven't said he isn't.
Well,
there's
The Rock says he's going to be.
Well, I hope The Rock's right. There's been
it's
rumors.
It's still a lot of rumors, but he's saying, I guess him and Henry Cavill met or something like that recently, and we're talking about.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill is freaking awesome. I love the guy. He was amazing in Mission Impossible. He's been a great Superman. The Witcher looks fantastic. It's getting amazing reviews so far from people. People talking about how it makes the Game of Thrones fights look boring. So I just put him against The Rock, who is basically this generation's Arnold Schwarzenegger. That like quintessential action hero right now.
Yeah,
that would be cool to see those two face off with each other.
My frustration with DC, and we got off.
Well, no, this was another Fab or Flub, so we're good. We're on track.
They're like, okay, we're gonna keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep Zachary Levi as
Shazam.
We may or may not keep Ezra Miller. Why is Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill the ones getting the axe? I don't understand that. You've already introduced all these characters into one movie.
I think Ben Affleck is losing on his own accord, or leaving on his own accord.
He's probably pissed.
Yeah.
And he's probably pissed because he was supposed to write and direct this next Batman movie, which now they're saying is being postponed because the guy that they picked to play Batman can't even put on the weight. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
So what's his name?
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah. He's having trouble bulking up. He can't bulk up. So they're postponing the movie. They can't start filming because the dude is still a twig. And he's working out, and he's probably taking steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
And he can't bulk up. They're postponing the movie.
Which I think is silly.
But
personally, but whatever.
And they had some cool castings in there and stuff, but it's like, why wouldn't Ben Affleck be pissed? But why is Henry Cavill getting the axe? They couldn't even. Henry Cavill could have come in and done the cameo at the end of Shazam, and they didn't even get him to do that. Like,
okay, if you're talking about this, we got this covered article. Let's just.
I've seen it at a couple. Okay, well, we'll chalk it up to rumor.
Because I just like the first thing when I Google it is we got this covered, and I don't trust a word they say. 80% of what they cover is false.
They've had a few.
They have
hits recently.
They've had a few, but out of 100, when like 4 are correct,
they were the first ones to come out and say that the Sonic redesign did not cost $30 million. It cost more like $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first ones to say that. So they've been coming up a little bit better.
BuzzFeed, I guess. Oh no. Cosmic Book News is also talking about it.
I think Cosmic Book News and we got this
they're
covered
a little bit more
closely related.
Oh, are they? Anyways, it's a rumor at this point, and you're right. They do sometimes get things right, but I don't like to believe anything that comes from we got this covered.
Oh, can we talk about this real quick? Because this just broke today.
What's up?
Robert Pattinson says Batman doesn't count as a superhero. You need to have magical powers.
I totally disagree with him. Batman is a superhero. He's super smart. He's super talented. He outsmarts everybody.
Let's see USA Today and see what This article says.
That's a stupid comment.
So we're going to go off the reins a little bit because we didn't have this in our show notes. But
Larry's saying, "What a mess." What are you talking about in particular? Since our stream lags, I'm curious what you're saying is a mess. Probably DC is what you're talking about.
Super rich.
Yeah, that's a superpower. Which that was the joke they made in Justice League. But the reality is, Batman is extremely intelligent and extremely talented. Yeah, he says yes, DC is what he's talking about. Yeah, they are a mess. They're getting better. Shazam was like a nice step in the right direction. Aquaman was. Not everyone liked Aquaman, but like it was a step in the right direction. Shazam was really good. Joker was fantastic.
So Iron Man's not a superhero,
right? Well, Iron Man has a super suit.
So you could argue the Batman suit is a super suit.
I'm with you. I think that's what Robert Pattinson said. That's a stupid comment. No, dude, that's dumb. That's stupid.
You go tell Robert Downey Jr. that he didn't play a superhero, and I think he'll punch you in the face.
Well, I think anyone that watched those movies would say that.
This is his exact quote. Batman is not a superhero. Pattinson told host Willie Geist, "It's weird. I always balk at it. It doesn't count. You need to have like magical powers or something." First of all, he's calling them magical powers, and it just feels kind of patronizing to me a little bit. Why are you calling them magical powers? Wonder Woman does not have magical powers. She has superpowers.
Yeah.
Magical powers, we're talking about Harry Potter or something like that. It just, I don't know.
He's putting his foot in his mouth at this point.
I want Ben Affleck back, dude. I wanted that gritty Batman, dude. Like, we've had this version of Batman with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And we've had that. Ben Affleck was the first iteration of a live action Batman that was different from all the others.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought it worked. I still don't like this casting though.
This is making me like the casting less. I was on board, but I don't want to hear that from the guy who's playing Batman. And so Absolute Geek says the bat suit isn't giving him powers. The Iron Man suit gives Tony powers. Sure, that's true.
But you could argue, I mean, that all of Batman's gadgets and stuff are pretty similar to the gadgets that Iron Man has, right?
There's similarities.
He has the suit that allows him to go into space. He had that kryptonite suit that allowed him to fight Superman, right? In Dawn of Justice or whatever. He has the planes. He has the everything. Like, the only thing that the Iron Man suit has over the Batman suit is the pulse things and the fact that he can fly.
I think their suits are vastly different. Like, his is a super armored, he can fly. Like, they're different suits.
Well, we saw in The Dark Knight the trilogy. I mean, he had bullet protective suits. He had, these capes that would get rigid and then soft and like all these.
But I don't think Batman's suits could take a punch from Thanos. Iron Man's can. That's what I'm saying. That's a difference to me. Batman, I think, is smart enough to like outsmart Thanos.
Well, I mean, he got punched around by Steppenwolf and lived to. I watched him get punched by Wonder Woman, and he lived to tell the day. Like, so it's offering something. Like, it might not be like Marvel. Their superheroes exist in more of a fantasy world than DC, and I think that's the clear difference between DC and Marvel is that DC always roots itself a little bit in reality, whereas Marvel is like fantastic, right? Like it's fantasy stories and stuff like that. It's not so much. It's not so much in reality.
I mean, you look at Shazam; he's all about magic. Like, they hardly even.
Well, that's why Shazam worked over the other ones, is because Shazam tried to be a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
I walked out of the theater and I said DC made a good Marvel movie. Didn't I? I did say that, right?
I mean, I didn't go with you, but yeah,
I've said it several times. Yeah. That's why Shazam. That's why people enjoyed Shazam, is because it seemed like a Marvel movie. But Superman and Batman, they've always been in some sort of reality where so Iron Man is in a fantastic sense of.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with you to a point. I don't think it's that black and white is all. Like, because Wonder Woman is like a demigod. Like, she's the daughter of Zeus or whatever, and like that's
obviously there's things. And maybe you're taking my reality comment too literally.
Batman is extremely based in reality.
Yeah, but Batman also exists in a world with Wonder Woman and Superman and all those other things.
I think I know what you mean. DC's more grounded, I think.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say is that yes, both things have things that are far-fetched, right? But the DC universe, they try to connect real life to their far-fetchedness. Marvel wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Marvel can do whatever the hell they want and it works, right? They can make a super fantasy movie, right? Guardians of the Galaxy is this sci-fi movie. I don't know. That's always been my distinction between DC and Marvel. So I don't think Iron Man's suit could exist in the fashion that it exists, right?
In DC?
No, in real life.
Oh, okay.
Something that.
But an alien from Krypton could?
No, but I'm just saying Batman's suit could.
Yeah. It's more plausible. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think I know what you mean. Well, let's move on to something different.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about this.
Do you know what I'm about to say?
Is it
it's probably
one that's right on the list?
No, I was going to skip that, but we'll talk about it.
No, I want to talk about that, dude.
Okay.
I'm excited.
We'll do that then. The Ghostbusters reboot is to be titled Ghostbusters Afterlife.
So I've had a lot of time to delve on this.
Okay.
And I think that I know why it's called Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I think because for a long time, Bill Murray said that he'll only come back and play his character again if he's a ghost. And I think that somebody is going to either be dead at the beginning of the movie, or the three Ghostbusters, Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray, are going to die at the end of the movie. I think so, or it's going to have a pivotal plot moment.
Okay.
Something's going to happen to one of the three guys or to all the guys. And there's also the other reason I think it's called Afterlife is because I think that the characters, McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard and all these people, that I think that's Egon's family. Oh. And he died. Okay. So they're going to basically play from the movie that Egon died, because you have to. Harold Ramis died. Yeah. So they're going to work that into the plot. Okay. And then this is his family. So his family is from this town. They move away. They move back to this town. And then one of them finds the Ecto-1 in the barn from this house that they moved back into. Okay. So they have some attachment to this town. So like Finn Wolfhard is maybe his grandson. Something like that. Because if you think about it, it would work because Finn kind of looks like him. Yeah. Well, Harold Ramis is he died at 69, and that was a few years ago. Well, I mean, there's no way he'd be the dad of someone like Finn Wolfhard, though. Right. Right. So no, the grandpa works. Yeah. Yeah. You know, that would be cool. I'd like that. Because then you'd bring an Egon in a way, through his posterity. Yeah, you're honoring his legacy. Yeah. And the guy him and Dan Aykroyd wrote the original movies. Yeah. With Ivan Reitman, right? So you got to kind of pay some homage to. I think that'd be great. I like that idea. You're more of a Ghostbusters fan than me. I like it. I grew up with it, and I love it. But like you've definitely thought about this more. So he was born in 1944. Harold Ramis. Yeah. So it's very plausible that he could have a grandson the age of Finn Wolfhard. Absolutely. He could be the great grandfather potentially. Because like 1944, that sounds like no, never mind. That's 10 years before my dad. So yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say that's when my grandpa was born, but my grandpa died like 3 years ago and he was 90. So that doesn't work. Yeah, he died at age 69 in 2014. So he would have been 74 today. Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, that totally makes sense. So yeah, it totally tracks, right? Yeah. But no, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. I'm a huge 80s cinema fan in general. Like Back to the Future and Ghostbusters are some of my favorite movies. So I'm really excited about this. In fact, I wouldn't shut up about it for like a month after that little teaser trailer was premiered. We posted on our website. It was the first trailer I think we ever posted on our website was that teaser trailer. Yeah, it showed nothing. It just was the car. It shows some slime on the fence. Yeah. It shows the photon blasters like going off in the background, and then the tarp off the car, and that's it. But yeah, I think it's going to have something to do with Bill Murray dying. That you might be right. I think that'd be interesting. The other thing that I read is it's possible that Rick Moranis might be coming out of retirement for this movie. That would be so awesome. So he was approached to make a cameo in the all-female version of Ghostbusters, the reboot. Yeah. and he's noted as saying that he didn't understand what it would do for the character to revitalize a character that he did 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
To do a day of shooting when it's not offering anything to the plot or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now it sounds like he might actually have, because they're bringing Sigourney Weaver back. Ooh. Sigourney Weaver and Louis Tully, who's Rick Moranis, were their stories kind of intertwined. They live in the same building and all that stuff. So it's plausible. You bring one back, you can make a story for the other one.
Okay.
So, but Rick Moranis,
I would love that, man, because he's been out of the scene for a long time.
Live action. He has an extensive voice acting career.
Does
that's
he?
Never stopped. Oh yes.
Oh, because I thought he got out of acting because like his wife died and then he was like taking care of his kids, and I thought he.
But you know, he still does. Nobody knows what his kids' names are.
Really?
He's never told anybody.
Really,
so they
real private.
Yeah, it's extremely private.
He seems like such a good man.
Yeah, he has a huge voice acting career.
I didn't realize that.
So he
good looking it up.
Here. Yeah, I can just tell you here. So he did the voice acting in The Goldbergs most recently. They did a Spaceballs episode.
What?
It's not him in the suit, but it's his voice.
It is?
Mm-hmm. He did the voice in Brother Bear 2. He's done the voice in...
That's right, Brother Bear 2, I knew that.
Yeah. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He's done lots of things. So he's been pretty active. He took about 10 years off, but he even did the Brother Bear 2 sequel. You know?
Gotta pay the bills, man.
Yeah, well, the guy just based off of the money that the residual income he probably makes from Ghostbusters, Little Shop of Horrors, Spaceballs, Strange Brew, which is a huge SCTV.
Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I mean, they had him at Disneyland. There was a ride devoted, not a ride, but that movie 3D.
Yeah, for a long time.
For a long time, the amount of money this guy has, he doesn't need to be doing.
No, do something every now and again.
Dude, the guy's loaded, and he lives in Canada, where the money might stretch a little further.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, but I mean, free healthcare, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Aren't they starting filming soon? Didn't they say?
They've already. There's already set photos and stuff.
Oh, all right.
It's supposed to come out in June.
Wait, really?
June 2020.
See, clearly I'm okay. Maybe I thought I saw something. Maybe it's that live action filming. Oh, that was Avatar.
Let me see here.
Finished their live action filming. All right. Well, while you're looking that up,
Avatar did not finish their live action. You didn't read the subheader on that? They finished all their shooting for 2019.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
They still have shooting to do next year.
Okay.
Yeah. Ghostbusters 2020 or Afterlife comes out on July 10th of next year.
Okay, cool. Nice. That's cool.
So, sorry, I get a little geeked out when it comes to
that's okay.
Ghostbusters.
I'm that way about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all sorts of things, man. So, no, that sounds good. So the last Fabber Flub, and then we're going to talk about the Black Widow trailer. The last Fabber Flub that we have is that Disney Plus has ordered a series called Star Wars Jedi Temple. It's a challenge game show that's going to be posted by Ahmad Best, the actor known for his portrayal of Jar Jar Binks in the prequels. Poor guy, man. One of the most online bullied people.
He was Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah.
And now they're giving him his own show?
Yeah. Which is great. He just...
Well, there was an article that came out last year about how the whole prequel trilogy ruined his life.
It did. And so I'm glad that they're giving him... he deserves this. The guy... Jar Jar wasn't his fault, in my opinion.
No, it was
how it was written. It was the direction.
It was George Lucas's fault.
I mean, yes, it was his voice, but I don't know. I don't think he was in much before that. This guy was probably super excited to be in Star Wars. What a big career opportunity. And then his character is just a laughing stock of the entire franchise.
It's cool that they're giving him another shot. It's just, why make it Star Wars? I mean, I always felt like Star Wars was a fantasy movie that also kind of took itself seriously, I guess you could say.
It's a space opera.
I could see I could see them making a game show off of Marvel or a game show off of Pixar or something like that. But why Star Wars?
I think this is a great idea because it sounds like it's for kids, like who are on the show. This reminds me of like when you go to Disneyland, even before Galaxy's Edge was built, and you had like the Jedi Training Academy. They do, and now it's more fleshed out with Galaxy's Edge. But that's what this sounds like to me. So it says the contestants will be tested in the core Jedi principles of strength, knowledge, and bravery as they complete
like Double Dare.
A set of different challenges. I think this sounds like a fun idea for Disney Plus.
Was it Double Dare Nickelodeon had?
I didn't watch that.
It sounds like Double Dare.
But like they're going to go to a forest planet. They're going to be on a Jedi Star Cruiser and inside a Jedi temple. I think this sounds like a fun idea.
Double Dare.
Yeah, a kids game show like no other. I think this will be a great family show for young kids. Like
as I'm sitting here, I'm like no other. As I'm sitting here saying it sounds like Double Dare.
Yeah, is that
Double Dare was a huge Nickelodeon show. It sounds like a mix between Double Dare and Nickelodeon's Temple of Doom. What's it called?
I didn't have cable growing up. I don't know what you're talking about.
So Double Dare would have a set of kids. They would go through obstacle courses.
Okay.
And they would have to like pull snot out of like a giant nose and like get these tickets and stuff. And then Temple of Doom was an obstacle course. Was it Temple of Doom?
That's an Indiana Jones movie.
I'm probably
probably mixing the name up.
Yeah, probably am.
Yeah, I mean, like, so imagine your little boy who's 6. Well, or even your little girl, 8-year-old, like she could watch this show and be like excited.
Oh, Legends of the Hidden Temple. I'm sorry.
But like your kids could watch this show and be excited about the idea that kids their age are training to be Jedi Padawans. Like that's a fun idea to me.
I don't know. I don't think that Star Wars like needs that like tongue-in-cheek type stuff, like
I'm all for it. It's not like it's building more Star Wars stories. It's just fun.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's why not do like, an Avengers Academy game show where it seems that it fits in with that subject matter a little bit better than Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope it's a slippery slope when you start making less serious things in a property that's supposed to be serious.
Star Wars isn't serious.
It's more serious than like Marvel.
I don't think so. I think they have the same tone. Maybe it's a little darker.
I mean, they have like, it seems more geared towards adults than Marvel is.
No, Star Wars is all about kids. Adults just like it. Star Wars is geared to kids.
Like Star Trek is not geared towards children, right?
No,
it's for adults. And I hold Star Wars and Star Trek like on kind of that similar pedestal. Star Trek maybe a little bit more because it deals more with the science stuff.
Star Trek is way more adult than
Star Wars. I don't know.
Star Wars is all about like it's a fantasy with like space. You've got laser swords and you've got giant walking bears that make woo sounds. And like it's silly. And I love it, but it's silly.
I just met a lot of people that take it so seriously.
Myself included.
How many of those people have you met that take the Marvel Cinematic Universe that seriously?
A lot.
That seriously?
Yes.
No, I disagree, man. There's people that learn, like Star Trek, for instance, they learn the freaking language, Klingon language. Like there's Star Wars.
Okay, Star Wars people do probably take a little more seriously than Marvel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it's
Star Wars.
The cinematic portion of Star Wars is a lot older than Marvel's as well.
It just doesn't.
And movies are bigger than comics for the most part.
I just don't want them to come out with a bunch of goofy properties based off of this. Like I want them to make stuff like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is not a kid show.
I think it's more. Yeah, it's like a teen.
Well, it would be rated PG-13.
It's TV PG though. Yeah. It should be.
I don't know if I would show that to my 6-year-old.
I don't know that I would either. Like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's off screen, but like, there's literally in the first like minute of the show, someone gets cut in half by a door. It's off screen, and so maybe a 6-year-old kid or whatever wouldn't notice. But no, I agree. It's more of a teenager show. But I think the core movies are for young kids. Maybe not like a 5-year-old, but I think it's for like kids who are 8 years old and up. Yeah. And then adults, it's also for adults. It's not like we went to watch Frozen today, which is for children. and adults can get some enjoyment.
Even though there was some humor in that movie, dude.
No, there was.
That was for the adults.
And that's what I'm saying. So like Toy Story, same idea. It's for kids, but there's a lot of great humor in it that's for adults as well. Incredibles, maybe a worse example, especially Incredibles 2, because it's kind of, I feel like it was made for our generation, because the original one came out when we were kids, kind of. But yeah, I don't know. I still think Star Wars.
Oh, Corbin's on.
Yeah, Corbin's saying he likes our shirts. Thank you, Corbin.
I don't have many options since I've been on vacation for a week and a half.
Yeah, here I am wearing a Marvel shirt.
I don't know, man. I want them to focus on making good movies and good shows and stuff, and I just worry about them soiling the property. I mean, Solo kind of didn't offer the property anything
which is why they're moving movies to a back seat, and I think they're going to be focused on the TV shows.
Yeah,
like the Cassian Andor one, dude. The Disney Plus series about Cassian Andor from Rogue One. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah,
that's exciting to me because Mandalorian's been so good. I can only imagine that Cassian's going to have a similar tone because I just rewatched Rogue One and that character's pretty dark. He's not a nice guy.
Yeah,
he was willing to kill. Why am I blanking on her name? Urso.
Jin.
Yes, yeah. He was willing to kill Galen Urso, Jin's father, and he did kill this guy at the beginning of Rogue One who was an informant for him because he thought he was going to squeal. Just shot the guy. Yeah. So I'm kind of excited to see his show. He's a good guy, but he toes the line. I
just want to see more adult-oriented stuff with that property. I think I enjoyed that.
Wasn't it you and I talking about how it'd be really funny or cool to see F words in Star Wars?
Yeah, it was last night.
Yeah, we
were watching The Force Awakens, and I was like, that part where Rey's chasing Finn in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
how funny it would be if Finn was running away, get the fuck away from me. How perfect that would have been. You know what I mean? I
mean, it's not necessary, but I do get what you mean.
I would say that if some crazy chick that I don't know is chasing me with a little orange and white robot, I'm going to be shouting F words what the hell do you want? Get the F away from me, how funny would it be? Or Kylo Ren gets shot by Chewie. Any normal person would have been like, ah! You know what I mean?
Yes, but again, this is where I'm saying Star Wars is made for kids.
Yeah, I just hope they don't go too far down that road of making it for kids.
I think that they need to keep the same tone that they've had. But anyway, let's talk about something else. Let's move on from this. The Black Widow trailer came out today.
So there's things on the Black Widow trailer that excite me, and there's things that are a bit of eyebrow raising.
Scarlett Johansson herself excites you, or
no? In fact, I'm kind of anxious to see Florence Pugh take that mantle.
Yeah,
I think she's a fantastic actor, and I just don't think Scarlett Johansson is.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is going to be amazing, and I think she can take the character into an avenue of a more serious character, something that Scarlett Johansson always tried that just kind of came off a little bit fake.
Sorry, I was trying to type and they changed the IMDb website and I was confused.
They changed it. At
least for me, I don't know.
They changed the layout?
Yeah.
But I was surprised that David Harbour looked pretty good as the Red Guardian.
Yeah, he looks funny.
Yeah, he looks like to be the comic relief. Now, Taskmaster, I'm not so sure about Taskmaster.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at Florence Pugh because I'm not as familiar with her as you are. I mean, I recognize her face, but there's not a ton of movies that I feel like I've seen her in. Oh, she was in Midsommar. Okay, I haven't seen that one yet.
She was in Finding with My Family. Midsommar.
Yeah.
No, she's a fantastic young actress, man, and it's
and she's supposedly going to be the new Black Widow. Is the thought, right?
Yeah, she's Yelena. Yeah. So Yelena takes up the Black Widow mantle.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. I think that's exciting to get someone new. I'm excited to see her. I think the movie looks interesting. I think the fact that Black Widow is dead makes it a little less exciting, though.
Yeah, I hope because they're doing another one of these go back in time. I don't understand why every female-oriented Marvel movie is back in time.
I mean, I think that's just a coincidence.
No, I think that's like, oh crap, we don't have any strong female characters and we can't just introduce a bunch of them, so let's do backstories like set in the 80s and set in the whatever. It's very clearly an afterthought, and now they're trying to retcon some of this stuff back into it.
Yeah, which is too bad.
Like Thanos, they're like, oh, how are we going to beat Thanos? Oh, we've made Thanos too strong, so let's make Captain Marvel. But we can't just bring Captain Marvel in. She has to have a backstory. So let's do it 20 years before this all happened. You know, it's just kind of eyebrow raising. But that's what I'm nervous about. I hope that it's actually good, whereas Captain Marvel was not.
Yeah.
You know, Captain Marvel was.
It was just okay.
It was a letdown.
There were some good aspects to it, but overall, yeah. I'm intrigued by the trailer. I watched it originally this morning on my phone. Didn't really like it. I was just like, whatever. And then Lance said, watch it again, dude. It was pretty good. And so we watched it on my TV instead, and I did like it a lot better then.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh, I'm excited about. I am also excited about David Harbour's character. And I'm curious, like, because this takes place after Civil War, right? Before Infinity War. Isn't that the idea?
I know it takes place before Infinity War, but it's going to have a lot of scenes with her in that Russian institute.
Sure, so it's going to have flashbacks to that. But my understanding,
I don't think it's very clear. Everybody knows it's before Infinity War.
Sure,
but I don't think, as far as where the rest of the story happens, there's rumors that that'll have some stuff from Budapest. There's rumors that, so I think it's a long stretching timeline,
which could be really interesting.
Yeah,
it's just I think it's coming too late.
Yeah, it should have come out before Infinity War.
Yeah, I still want to see it, but it sucks that we're getting a Black Widow movie after she died. You know?
Yeah, and I think the sole purpose is that they want to bring Florence Pugh in. Which
sounds cool. It just sucks that...
Which they should have just made a movie about Florence Pugh becoming Black Widow.
Well, maybe that's what this is going to end up being.
Maybe. I don't know. It's... yeah, I don't want to see so much of the in the past stuff. I want to see the stories progressing.
I want her backstory, but it's just less relevant now. Mm-hmm. Like having her backstory before she dies would have been more interesting. I just think the timing's bad. You know, at this point, the thing for Marvel I'm most excited about next year is Falcon versus Winter Soldier. Like, Eternals should be cool. You know, that comes out in November.
Eternals, I think, is going to be there.
I'm excited about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I am too.
Really cool.
I think the Eternals is going to be Marvel's take at like a Wonder Woman style movie with gods and because it has a lot to do with like Greek mythology and stuff. Mm-hmm. Where Thor, you could argue Thor is that, but Thor and Wonder Woman are pretty different movies.
Yeah. I'm looking up the release date for Falcon and Winter Soldier because pretty sure it comes out before. I don't think they have an official release date, but it's coming out next spring was my thought. It should be coming out before Black Widow, so I'm kind of surprised we don't have any footage from that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, no. Falcon and Winter Soldier is expected to be released in late 2020. Oh, I thought it was coming out.
Is it the first one that's coming out?
It is.
That's a shame. Disney Plus is going to have to start coming out with some more stuff because when Mandalorian ends, what is there?
For original content, there's some of their other stuff, but yeah.
There's nothing new coming out.
Nothing in the nerd culture as much.
Yeah.
I don't know how many episodes Encore is going to have. Jeff Goldblum, you know.
Yeah.
Or if they have other movies
Jeff
coming
Goldblum.
out.
I mean, luckily I'm getting it for free right now.
Yeah.
Because of Verizon. But, I mean, if I was a paying customer after 8 weeks,
I'm with you.
I don't see the point of continuing it.
It's going to be much more fleshed out a year from now.
Yeah, they need to, like, that needs to be moved up, man. Like when.
Yeah, but I want it to be ready.
I do too. I don't want them to hastily put out stuff, but I wish there was more original content when it started.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Disney Plus original series. Let's see. What else?
Like, why couldn't they have done, you know, they were shopping this Ghost Rider show to Hulu. Why couldn't they have just done a Disney Plus show for Ghost Rider? They're done something. Give me something, man. Because after 8 weeks, I don't see myself going on Disney Plus for anything. Because Jeff Goldblum, I'm assuming, ends after 8 weeks.
Here's another thing coming soon. There isn't really much, though. So Diary of a Female President is coming in January.
Is that a show?
Supposedly, yeah. 10 episodes. Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7. I'm very excited about that.
That's the cartoon, right?
Yes, that comes in February. And then, after that, there's nothing until Falcon and the Winter Soldier, according to this Wikipedia article. So that really isn't much, because right now we've got Encore, The Imaginary Story, Marvel's Hero Project, the Jeff Goldblum, Pick of the Litter, Mandalorian, High School Musical.
Pick of the Litter?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. It starts December 20th, so we still have a little bit of time on that.
Oh, isn't that around the time that Mandalorian ends?
Yeah.
Well,
but I'm not sure how many episodes that's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then there's some short series like Pixar in Real Life and some other stuff. But you're right, there's not a ton of original content. So
I'm just saying, as a paying customer, they're not giving you a whole lot to maintain. The nerd specific. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, sure. There's X-Men and there's X-Men and there's I've been watching Gargoyles and there's those shows, but
it's in the future is what we're looking at, because Falcon is the only thing next year, but then WandaVision, What If, and Hawkeye are all in 2021, and the Cassian Andor series is also 2021.
When is WandaVision?
Early 2021.
See, I'm more excited about that one because I think that one's going to have a lot of implications to the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, but those don't have release dates. Obi-Wan Kenobi. So there's a lot coming up, but you're right. In the short term, there's less. But I'll tell you right now, as much as I'm with you, I'm paying $1 more per month for freaking DC Universe and getting a lot less.
That's true. DC Universe, I don't know. Are they going to be quitting that soon? Or
I would not be against it. I would be 100% okay with them getting rid of DC Universe in lieu of HBO Go or HBO Max or whatever it's going to be. Unknown Reaper is saying that Black Widow takes place after Civil War.
I think a lot of the movie takes place after Civil War, but there is going to be some stuff about her and the schooling. I think there's going to be a lot of flashbacks.
I do too. All in all, I think it looks okay, but clearly we got sidetracked with other Marvel stuff we're more excited about than Black Widow, and Black Widow is the next thing coming out for Marvel. So unfortunately,
it seems like a lifetime away.
May. I know it doesn't. Yeah, right. Because July was Spider-Man. This is a pretty big gap for Marvel.
Yeah, I can't wait till they get into the. I think it's going to be happening soon. The 3 movies a year.
Well, they were doing 3 a year.
They did it for 2 or 3 years.
They did 3 this year.
No.
Yeah, Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Spider-Man.
Captain Marvel came out after Infinity War?
No, it was before. Endgame was this year.
But it came out after Infinity War.
Before. Yeah, it was after Infinity War.
It came out in March? This March?
Yeah.
Why does that movie seem so old?
I know, it does seem like a long time ago. Same with Shazam. Came out in April, and it feels like it was forever ago. That's just how a year works, man. We're at the end of the year now, and it feels like the beginning of the year was forever ago.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and then the year before that, they had 3 as well. They had Ant-Man and the Wasp, they had Infinity War, and Black Panther.
Yeah.
So they've been having 3. I think the year before that, too, because you had Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, and something else earlier in the year in 2017. Was it Guardians? Guardians 2, I think, was that year. Civil War was 2016.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
We waited that long for a Spider-Man. We saw him for a brief second, and then we had to wait that long for
It was only a year. Spider-Man didn't come up much longer after. Anyway, I think that'll do it for the Black Widow talk. Let's, real briefly, we don't need to talk too much about what we've been watching other than The Mandalorian, but I'm just going to list off a few of the things I've been doing. So, as everyone I think knows, if you've been listening the last few weeks, I've been watching a lot of Star Wars. So, I have watched Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and Lance and I watched Episode 7, The Force Awakens, last night. And also, I finished Jedi Fallen Order. I'm telling you right now, that's my game of the year.
Really?
Really, really good.
More than Spider-Man, huh?
Okay, Spider-Man wasn't this year.
Was it?
No, it was last year.
I think I just played it this year.
Yeah, you did. Fallen Order was amazing. And earlier on in the chat, Matt was talking about, give me more BD1. That's the droid in the game, and it is a really cool droid. Pretty cute.
What do you have Fallen Order on?
What do you mean?
What
I have it on Xbox.
On Xbox?
Yeah. You
should let me borrow it, and I'll give it back to you when you go back.
It's digital. You know me. Everything's digital.
Suck.
Well, borrow it from my brother later. He got it on PS4 and he has a disc.
All right. I don't know if he will because I lost his iPod.
Yeah, you never know. But that's some of the stuff I've been doing. I also finished Man in the High Castle season 4, which was the final season. I really liked it.
It's better than last season.
I liked last season. I've liked all of Man in the High Castle.
I loved first season. In fact, I think I'm the reason you watched it.
You are.
Yeah, I pushed you into watching it. And I watched second season. And then the third season just kind of like, I don't know.
It goes a very different direction. It becomes very sci-fi. Season 4 is even more
sci-fi. So. I usually like sci-fi, but it just felt like, I don't know, the direction was just kind of like a shotgun blast. Like
I hear you. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's more of the same in season 4.
Really?
And I really liked it. It doesn't tie up like a bow. It leaves you wanting more, but it concludes enough.
That's good.
Like, but it isn't like, it's not like you get to the end of the series and you see exactly how the Reich falls and how, you don't see everything conclude.
Mm-hmm.
There's some story strands that are left open, but that's okay. For me, it was okay for me. And I don't want to get into that. It was really good. I finished it the night before you guys got here. I stayed up until like 1 a.m. because I was like, I'm not going to be able to watch it once Lance gets here. I want to finish it. So I stayed up late.
Yeah, I'll have to get back into it because I didn't shut up about it.
Yeah, you were obsessed.
Yeah, I loved it. And then.
Yeah, it's super good. And the last thing that I've been watching was Titans season 2. That finale was trash.
Yeah, I saw Matt said something about it.
Yeah, if Matt, if you're still on, feel free to agree with me because it was not trash. It just.
Is it one of those things where, because I know the last season, the season finale wasn't really intended to be the season finale.
This was intended to be
so
the finale.
It's not the same thing.
No, but here's something. I'll say this without spoiling. The entire season.
Apparently, Matt has stuff to say.
I'm sure he does. The entire season was freaking Deathstroke was the main villain, and near the end of the season, you start getting like this Cadmus story arc as well, which I thought was going to be more of like tying into the next season, like leading into the next season. But it felt like a side plot. Well, the episode 13, the finale comes out, and within the first 10 minutes, the Deathstroke story arc that's been playing out the entire season is done. And then they spend the next 30 minutes of the episode tying up the Cadmus story arc that started like 3 episodes earlier. So I was just like, what?
Really?
You gave me 13 episodes of Deathstroke, 12 episodes of Deathstroke, 3 episodes of some other story arc, and it didn't tie up right. Like,
yeah.
And Matt will agree with me that they did Deathstroke wrong, man. He was a really good villain. They had him written really well, and the final confrontation with him was just kind of blah.
Really?
Yeah, it was just not that good. Like, the Nightwing introduction was really cool. Nightwing doesn't get introduced till the finale. That was really cool. Nightwing, I think, is awesome. Very enjoyable. But Deathstroke, man, they did him dirty. He's too good of a villain to do that.
Matt agrees with you.
Yeah, and maybe we can have Matt on here in the near future to talk about it, because it's just, and we'll go into like full spoilers on it because I don't want to spoil it. Overall, I enjoyed the season. It was good. It's just, yeah, it was a letdown. And they did the same thing last season. Like, you had a pretty decent first season, and then the finale kind of just sucked.
So it's like a Stephen King movie.
I guess, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
First 75% of it is great, and then you can't stick the ending.
The whole second half of the season wasn't as good. The first half of the season was phenomenal. And then the second half, it was just kind of less and less good. There was a little filler. It's just we're doing some weird things with the story. And yeah, it just didn't pay off well. I'm pretty disappointed.
He says the final kind of ruins the rest of the season.
It does. It does. You have a really good season, and then the way it wraps up, you're like, so all that buildup was for nothing? You know, it's like, okay, you're on a roller coaster. You're going up, slow. You're building all this anticipation for a big drop, and then you just go straight at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, why did you lift me up for the last 5 minutes? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm really nervous at Crisis of Infinite Earths is going to be, dude.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's been so much news and so much. And dude, and if I watch it and there's only 5 seconds of Clark Kent from Smallville, I'm going to throw my.
There's not going to be much. I think they've already confirmed it's not much.
Yeah, if there's no Lucifer, I'm going to be pissed too.
What have you been watching?
I've been watching Mandalorian, of course, which has been fantastic. And our next baby, we're just going to name him the child. You know,
there you go.
Or Baby Yoda. I don't know. I've also been watching Supernatural, which has been just every second it's just balls to the wall, dude.
Oh, that's good.
Like they are really trying to just knock it out of the park as far as giving the fans everything. It's a complete fan service. This last season. I mean, it's just constant action. There's no filler episodes. It seems like every episode ties into the direct story. There's deaths that like character deaths that are shocking. There's characters that are coming back that you forgot about, and you're like, oh shoot, I remember I loved that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's been great. I recommend it to anyone. What else have we been watching? Letterkenny on Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if anybody's
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it yet.
So it's set in Canada. And originally it was like little shorts, I guess. Like you almost think that these would be on like YouTube, you know, but they're 25-minute episodes, some of them.
Yeah.
There's a whole season where each episode's like 4 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's short. There's 7 seasons of the show. But it is... Oh, yeah. See, Matt loves Letterkenny.
I've seen
it
a clip
is
from
so
it.
dry. Funny. Like the humor... I can't explain it. I've never seen another comedy show like it. The humor is just so irreverent and stupid that you're like, why am I laughing at this? But they say it with such a straight face. I don't know. It's so good. And the girl on there, Katie, I think her name is like one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Really? Dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Every girl on that show is drop dead gorgeous, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. But the main guy who wrote...
There's 7 seasons of this show.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Dang.
The main guy, I can't remember his name. He wrote it. The main actor. Yeah, go down a little bit.
Writers Jared Kiso and Jacob.
Jared Kiso. He plays the main guy. He does this thing throughout the whole show where he's like kind of like squinting, like, and he talks like with a straight. Oh, I don't know what he's doing with his face, dude, but it just adds to the absurdness of it.
The only thing I've seen from it is like a clip where they're all like hanging out around a truck and they're talking about how they like to make their steak.
Oh, is it the produce? They're around a produce truck?
Probably.
That's how each episode starts. They're around a produce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they own a produce cart, which I've never seen anybody come up and buy any produce. They're just hanging out. They're hanging out in front of this produce cart.
S&P, the way for me is what they say.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But it's the main guy, his friend, who's named Squirrely Dan, I think his name is. The guy with the beard? Yeah.
Okay.
There's Daryl, who they call Derry, and then Katie. And they're all just huddled around this thing, and they start talking about how they like their steaks done. One of them says the word moist, and they go on, and Katie's like, don't say that word. And they go on for like 5 minutes just making up
different ways to say moist.
Like they're taking movie titles and adding the word moist into them just to... And then one of them says something, they're like, hey, don't say that word. And then they do it again with this new word throughout the whole episode. But the whole show is the Hicks. which is the group of 4. Those are the Hicks.
Yeah.
They have the hockey players because it's Canada. And the hockey players are kind of like dumb, kind of doopy dudes, like bro dudes. I guess. Like we would probably call these 2 like surfer guys.
Okay.
Here. So you have them. You have the goths who deal all the drugs, and they like dance like in the middle of alleyways to like electro music and like wear black overalls, and the Skids. Thanks, dude. They're called the Skids, and they deal all the drugs. Then you have the preacher, who's definitely gay but doesn't admit it. And then you have the people from the tribe, and they sell the cigarettes to the people at Letterkenny for like way less than what cigarettes cost, I guess. But you have all these different groups, and then just watching them interact is hysterical.
Nice.
And my buddy Mike was like, dude, you got to watch the show. And he showed me a clip on YouTube, and I was like, that's stupid. I'm not going to watch the show. And then one night I was bored. I was like, I guess I'll watch the show. And I'm hooked, dude.
I'll have to give it a try, because I've heard from you and many others that it's really fun.
It's you got to watch, and you're like, for the first episode, you're like, what the hell am I watching? You don't understand it. And then you start to like understand the characters and stuff, the natives. Thanks, Matt. And it's so good, dude. It's so good. But is there anything you're looking forward to that's coming up? I don't think anything new is coming up, huh? Besides Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't think. Well, The Witcher 3 or The Witcher.
Oh, when's that come out?
December 20th, same day as Star Wars.
Oh,
yeah.
Nobody's gonna be watching that then.
A lot of people are. But yeah, I'm probably not going to get to for a week. But yeah, I'm excited for Witcher. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything coming out. I mean, there's the Marvelous Miss Maisel's coming out December 12th, I think, or something like that. So that's a really good show. It's fantastically written.
Yeah.
But there's not much, it seems like. I did finish the end of the effing world.
Okay.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's another kind of a different kind of humor, but it's still dry.
Yeah.
And it's like darker.
Yeah.
That's a great show on Netflix.
Yeah, I remembered as you started talking about Marvelous Miss Maisel. I actually finished season 2 of Jack Ryan. Wasn't impressed.
That's how I feel about season 1.
It wasn't bad. The Man in the High Castle had me much more engaged. I don't know. It was just okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know The Boys finished filming.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So The Boys should be coming out here soon, probably next summer.
Yeah.
And then Umbrella Academy, isn't that supposed to be coming soon?
I'm not sure. I mean, The King's Man is coming out in February. I'm excited for that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah. There's some other stuff coming out, but what's Wonder Woman's next June. Black Widow's next May.
Which I'm hearing Wonder Woman's kind of a cluster.
Really?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
So the Umbrella Academy season 2 is finished filming, but I don't know.
Fuller House comes out Friday. I don't really care about that.
Fuller House? Oh, the last season?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for Witcher. Super excited for that. And of course, super excited for Star Wars. Beyond that, 1917.
Yes, that looks good.
That looks really good. Very excited about
it.
That.
Looks like, what was I telling you? It looks like a cross between Saving Private Ryan and
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? Like, you can see where I could see that.
Yeah. Just because they're like going on a quest, but I don't really see it as much.
I was just making a joke with the Lord of the Rings things, but it does have very Saving Private Ryan feel to it.
Yeah.
Well,
should we talk about what we have seen recently?
Oh, Frozen?
Yeah. That okay. And then Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah, we watched Ford v Ferrari on Sunday night.
Oh, wow. Birds of Prey next February, too. See, that's how unexcited I am for it.
I want to. The Hedgehog is February. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think I'm more excited for that. And then you got the new James Bond coming out, which the trailer comes out tomorrow for that. So there's quite a few things coming out. But excuse me. Onward. Oh, that looks good.
The one with Chris Pratt and
Oh, Tenet, that's next July. That I'm excited about. Godzilla vs. Kong is next year. That surprises me. I thought
it got pushed. I don't think I don't think they
Bad Boys for Life, Top Gun Maverick, Ghostbusters, The Kingsman, Mulan. Fast and Furious 9's next year, that's right. Anyway, there's quite a few. Bill and Ted's next year. So there is a lot coming out next year.
Oh, there is something it might already be out, but I want to see it. Honey Boy, I think it's called, with Shia LaBeouf's new movie. It's basically like a biopic.
Oh yeah, I think that's in the Bloodshot's next February. I think it's an Amazon original, so it'll be on Amazon Prime.
It says it's in theaters.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime eventually.
That looks fantastic, and Shia
Jumanji looks good too. Sorry.
Jumanji's coming out in December.
Yeah,
it's coming out.
That's soon.
But Honey Boy, they're saying that it could have a Oscar talk for Shia LaBeouf.
Well, Harley Quinn on the DC network. That's right. That's out now. I need to watch that.
That's the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
And it's with Penny from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, supposedly it's getting great reviews. But yeah, no, that sounds cool. Yeah, Honey Boy should be interesting. Yeah, because you're right. It's about his life. I want to see it. Shia LaBeouf is an interesting guy.
Shia LaBeouf. So he's.
It reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes.
He's the kind of guy that like makes you think he's absolutely nuts, but he was playing a joke on you the whole time.
So Shia LaBeouf had a very big problem with alcoholism. I was watching some interviews with him recently because I saw that Honey Boy trailer and kind of went on a little Shia LaBeouf rant for like an hour. I just watched YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
He was an alcoholic, like a raging alcoholic, and he's sober now.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see when he talks that there's actually like a sane person there.
Yeah.
You know, and he wrote this movie with someone else, I don't know. But
when he plays his dad in it.
He plays his dad, yeah. And the director asked him to play his dad and he didn't want to. But Shia LaBeouf, from what I've seen, had a rough life, dude. His dad was dealing drugs. His you know, he went and he basically made himself famous. Like his parents had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went and lied to some agent, like impersonated his dad on the phone, and like lied to some agent, and the agent ended up representing him, and then got him into like commercials and stuff. So the kid did it all by himself. Like Shia LaBeouf is an interesting dude, but he's I would argue he's one of the best actors of our generation.
He's a very good actor.
If you watch Fury, if you watch I have Peanut Butter Falcon like waiting to watch on my computer.
Yeah.
But if you just watch just the simple trailer from Peanut Butter Falcon, or you see Lawless
was good.
Any of these movies that he's been in, he's always the shining point of the movie. Because he just gets it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. But should we talk Frozen real quick?
Yeah.
We're not going to spend too much time, so please don't turn us off. His dad was super manipulative, is what Matt was saying.
Yeah.
So we just got back. We took my kids. We went on family plus Max and Kelsey, which I guess it's family still. We went to go see Frozen 2 because my daughter has not shut up about it since the trailer debuted, I don't know, a year ago.
It's made for her. I mean, you would expect her to be excited about it.
Matt says Holes or get the F out. Holes is fantastic. But Frozen 2, now a lot of the movie I looked at it like kind of perplexed. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like,
I thought the story was super simple. I thought it made a lot more sense than
it was simple, but they kind of went off on little things. I'm like, what was the point of that? Like, I don't know. But it pokes fun out of it at itself quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene that the snowman, I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Olaf.
Where he's basically like giving like a
recap.
What's the dude from Ant-Man?
Oh yeah, Luis.
Yeah, he's giving a Luis style breakdown of
the first movie,
and it is absolutely hysterical.
It's hilarious.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
And that alone is enough to watch the movie. Just that little quick thing.
And the freaking 80s music video with Kristoff.
Oh, yeah. So Kristoff goes in. Anna goes off and she leaves Kristoff to go fight something. I don't remember. And Kristoff starts singing a song about how he loves her so much. And it's totally 80s.
Oh, totally.
Like,
it's like in your face 80s. That was the point. It's hilarious.
And it knows it's doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it knows that.
Yeah.
Like
that song is going to be clipped out and made into a YouTube video. It's going to go viral.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
But it pokes fun at itself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just have weird questions like, why every time that Elsa uses her powers at like a big pivotal moment in the story, does she change her clothing with her powers?
My wife answered that for you. Women like new clothes.
Yeah, that's not enough of a story point or a plot point.
A story point.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, first of all, she controls ice, not fabric. Okay, she does not have the power.
She's
to
magic.
Wield cotton up from the, whatever the water is. Wield cotton and make herself these sequin dresses that would.
Some of the things y'all get hung up on make me laugh.
Who
cares?
I don't get it, man. Like, quit treating our kids like they're stupid. Like, I can't be the only one asking this question.
You're not.
And then she like lets her hair out in every movie. Like, for both movies, during the song, she lets her hair out. She like takes out her braids, and it's like, and they reference it later in the movie. Oh wow, you look different. But.
You don't know her life on Reaper says. Yeah.
Well, it's a cute movie for kids.
It was cute. It was fun. I liked it better than the first one, honestly. But I got a few notes here. So, one, I liked the music. It's not as memorable as the first movie. I don't think there's going to be a Let It Go. There's not going to be a Let It Go. It's very much more Broadway music, which I love musicals.
So there's a song that Elsa sings, and then Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco sings it during the credits.
Yeah, super good.
And it's phenomenal.
That is good.
Like, the Brendan Urie version alone could be on the radio.
Yeah, and that song actually I had an issue with the mixing. So when Elsa's character is singing that song,
it's weird, right?
There's a point where like she's singing with all this passion, and I could barely hear her over the instrumental portion of the song.
That's why the Brendan Urie version's better.
Yeah, and I didn't like that because Idina Menzel has such an incredible voice. Why are you drowning her voice out with so much?
That's how I felt through Lion King.
Yeah,
that's how I felt through Lion King. They have Beyonce, and every time she sings, she's overpowering the rest of the cast.
Yeah. So
you can't ever hear Donald Glover. It's the same thing. I don't know who Disney has doing the mixing of these songs.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It only happened in that song, though, because she had some other songs later where I could hear her just fine. You had Kristen Bell's song, or she had a couple. It wasn't an issue there. Kristoff's song was fine. It was just like a few moments in that song that I noticed.
Because I think Elsa's songs are the most powerful moments in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's when the music gets really loud. Like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight is kind of that same type of song in the movie. It's like a major like plot device, that song.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Now, I will say this, though, about the freaking movie. It better win Best Animation for 2019. Holy crap, it's beautiful. The colors, the animation, the I thought, what were they saying?
I think it's so funny watching two grown men really break down a child's movie. Hey man, it's dry. It's a dry movie month, dude. It's dry. Like,
all right. Well, with that, let's move into a man's movie then. Ford v Ferrari. Full spoilers ahead. We're going to be talking about Ford v Ferrari. We saw it a couple nights ago. So let's get into that instead of talking about why a girl wants to let her hair down.
Are we ending with Mandalorian then?
Oh, crap. We were going to talk about Mandalorian. Shoot. Let's talk about that first. Full spoilers for that as well.
Mandalorian was great.
Okay. I'm going to start with something that's on my mind. Well, I'll end with it. So, Baby Yoda, adorable, as ever. Even more so than usual. Loved all like him playing with the kids and the radio moment. Not radio moment, but there's a YouTube video now about when you're 8 years old and you're playing with the radio and it's Baby Yoda flipping a switch in the spaceship and then it starts up some music and then the Mandalorian turns it off and then they flip the music back on.
Matt, you're distracting me, dude. Got a movie about cars and Matt Damon and you're hung up on Frozen 2.
Anyway, but the AT-ST in this episode was real cool. I actually really liked.
It looked menacing, dude. It was awesome. And I always thought the AT-ATs and the AT-STs were kind of like, eh.
Well, like the design of the AT-AT is stupid. You've got this like
it looks like a giant camel.
Well, you've got this extremely top-heavy thing with these extremely long legs that can be tripped so easily. Same thing with the AT-ST. Super long legs, like they're not practical, but they are terrifying. And the AT-ATs are more of an issue in the movies. Like they definitely are powerful. But the AT-STs to me have always been kind of like weak in comparison.
They remind me of the Avatar things that he wears. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of like
the mech suits?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, but like with really long legs.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
For me, the AT-ST is like when you've got Return of the Jedi and you've got a bunch of freaking Ewoks destroying them easily, I just can't take that seriously anymore.
No.
So in this, they made it terrifying like it should be.
Yeah, that scene where it's all red in the woods and it's running like at them, like, and they're running away. It was awesome, dude.
It was super cool. I loved the red eyes because I was thinking back on it. I don't think in the original trilogy you ever see one at night. You always see it in the daytime. This was at night, and you got those red eyes.
Yeah, and
it was kind of creepy, and I loved it. It was real cool. I really, really liked the AT-ST thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My biggest issue with the episode, they spend some time talking about how he doesn't take his helmet off.
Yeah, this is my issue.
And Mandalorian never takes their helmet off if they're disowned or something like that, whatever.
Yep.
And several times both female characters try to take his helmet off. He doesn't let them. And then he walks into his hut and he just takes his helmet off in front of an open window with like 10 kids playing outside this window. Starts eating his biscuit or whatever, where anybody can see him. It's like, dude, if that's like your whole thing, like not taking off your helmet, you suck at it. It's like anybody can see you right now. You know, it just.
Yeah, I think that was. I didn't mind that as much. I get where you're coming from though, because I thought the same thing. Like people can see you. I think some of that was he is accepting the idea of maybe having a quiet life and not being the Mandalorian anymore so much. And then the other part of it is I think it was just meant to be a cool image, you know?
Yeah.
But
well, what were you saying? Does Boba Fett take off his helmet a lot?
Okay, so yes, this is my big issue. And it can be explained and I will explain it. So Boba Fett doesn't super count because he's not a Mandalorian, neither is Jango Fett. Jango is a bounty hunter who stole Mandalorian armor and used it. Which I don't think the Mandalorian in the show is actually a Mandalorian either. They keep kind of alluding to.
Matt says the helmet turns it on. It's his kink.
So here's my issue.
Is that like when girls ask you to put a paper bag on your head, Matt?
Here's my issue with the helmet thing. He says he can't take it off, otherwise he can't put it back on. In the Clone Wars and in Rebels, which are canon, there are many times where Mandalorians from Mandalore take their helmets off and they leave them off. Sabine from Rebels, she's got her helmet off all the time, but she can always put it back on. Not a big issue. And you've got villains in Rebels that are Mandalorians. Same thing. You've got villains and main characters in Star Wars: The Clone Wars that are Mandalorians. You have an entire season almost that takes place on Mandalore where people aren't wearing their helmets all the time. So here's how I can explain it. Here's
the tribe thing, right?
The tribe thing. So Mandalorians are tribal. That is true. I think that the Mandalorian from the show is in an extremely strict tribe that has that rule. That's the way I'm explaining it. I don't love it because that's not been the case in canon, really. But that's how I'm going to be okay with it.
I think it's
He's
cool,
in a tribe.
but they should
it's
have
cool.
done it
It's just
from the
not
beginning.
established.
Yeah.
Mandalorians take their helmets off all the time.
So Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian?
No.
But he wears the armor.
At least
so
that's my understanding. No.
Well, he wears the Mandalorian thing on his.
Well, he does steal some armor, but he.
Like, where's my puzzle that I've been putting together? He has the Mandalorian emblem on his.
I'm pretty sure that's his emblem.
No, because they use it for the new show too.
Maybe you're right.
There's a whole bunch of stuff coming out. I've been selling stickers with the Mandalorian logo and the United States flag.
Boba Fett, a Mandalorian. Let's see. Boba Fett himself is not technically a Mandalorian in Star Wars lore, being instead a clone of Mandalorian Jango Fett. So Jango is a Mandalorian. And Rey's not on Mandalore, but on a planet called Camino. I didn't realize
Boba Fett's a clone of Jango?
Yes. Yeah. So that I knew. I didn't realize Jango was a Mandalorian. For some reason, I thought Jango wasn't actually a Mandalorian.
You can be adopted into the Mandalorian tribe.
Sure, and I think that this does mean Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. If he's a clone of Mandalorian, he's a Mandalorian.
How funny would it be? Because Matt says it's probably an excuse because his face is all messed up or something and he's trying to hide it. How funny would it be if we finally see him take the mask off and it's Ryan Reynolds in full ugly avocado? And not Pablo, whatever his name is.
And it could be that he has an ugly face and it's an excuse. I don't think so. I think it's more a tribe thing, but
or it could be there's a rumor, not a rumor, theory going around that I read that he's actually a woman.
Yeah, I doubt that.
I doubt it too. I'm not putting any stock in it.
Leia is mistaken for a male bounty hunter underneath a mask in Return of the Jedi.
But he talks like he has a very clear man's voice.
Well,
but
it's Pedro Pascal in the freaking outfit. But.
Yeah. But maybe, I don't know, maybe he's a woman and he doesn't want anybody to know he's a woman.
Maybe. I don't think that's the case.
Or maybe he's like Dave Chappelle when Dave Chappelle joins the Ku Klux Klan. He's actually black. You've never seen that skit?
No, but he could be black.
Matt, help me out here, dude.
But I don't think they're going to do that.
Dave Chappelle plays a skit on the Chappelle Show where he's a blind black man that doesn't know he's black and is in the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh my gosh.
It is one of the most hysterical things. It's hilarious because he's so racist, but it's really funny. He doesn't know he's black. And the rest of his Klan members don't tell him he's black because he's like a high-ranking official.
That sounds like a funny skit. I haven't seen that one.
There's a good theory going around that the baby Yoda is going to be a Mandalorian. I haven't read that.
I haven't seen that theory.
Yeah, Matt, can you send that to me when you get a chance? I'd like to read that.
Curious about that one.
No, but the show's been fantastic. It's a shame that it's only 8 episodes. Because it's going to be done in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, the week after Christmas.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Or the week of Christmas.
So is it happening the same timeline as this new movie that's coming out?
No. So this takes place, I think it's like 9 years after Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's before Force Awakens.
Yeah, years and years before. So when does the Mandalorian take place? I know someone said it's set 4 ABY, so 4 years after the Battle of Yavin. Force Awakens is 34 years after the Battle of Yavin. Mandalorian Return of the Jedi is 4 years after Yavin. So Mandalorian takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. So, 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
And then the Force Awakens is 34 years after?
It's 30 years after Return of the Jedi. So whatever that quick math is, 26 years or something like that after. Now it's going to bug me. Where's my calculator button? Dang it. And I want to know the exact math because I don't want to do it in my head. 34 minus 9. 25 years. 25 years after The Mandalorian is when Force Awakens happens. So
it's not going to tie in whatsoever when the movie comes out. Like there's no reason that you have to watch this before you see the movie.
There was a report that came out today, and it's still rumor that the reason that they're doing The Mandalorian episode 7 on Wednesday before the Rise of Skywalker is because they're going to do a teaser for Rise of Skywalker after the episode.
And that's it.
Supposedly, not a
trailer, like a teaser.
Yeah, like a teaser for the movie. Something we haven't
almost
seen
like
yet.
an after credits scene. Marvel's after credit scene. Something
That's
like that.
kind of what my understanding is. I just assumed they were doing it Wednesday to give us a few days before The Force Awakens, or before The Rise of Skywalker.
So Baby Yoda, he's 50 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
The child or whatever.
Yeah.
He's 50 years old. It's 4 years after Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
And then 30 years after that, like, why haven't we seen him?
Reasons.
And there's no mention of him.
It's a big galaxy. Well, he was a secret. The Empire knew about him.
But not current. Like any of the current movies, there's never been.
No.
Do you think he'll be mentioned at all in this new movie?
I think that'd be cool. I don't, though. I don't think he'll be mentioned.
I just hope it's not a Marvel situation where the Netflix shows were supposed to be in the universe, but they weren't really in the universe.
This will be. It just
I hope so.
Doesn't have to be completely tied in. Like the Star Wars galaxy is huge.
Yeah.
So it's not like everything that happens has to tie in.
I know, but you introduce a character like the child that looks like Yoda, and you don't use it at all in the Skywalker, saga.
You don't have to.
I don't know. It just seems like those are so closely related.
I don't want everything to tie in the Skywalker saga. I just want Star Wars. I don't need that. So I'm not with you on that.
They have said he is going to be playing an important part.
Yeah, Jon Favreau said that. And
in the movie?
No, just like in the Star Wars universe. And he very well maybe. He might be in episode 9. It'd be cool. I just don't think it's going to happen.
It'd be cool to see him like grown up.
I think that'd be cool.
And he gets a purple lightsaber, like
Mace Windu.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think that they're going to do that yet.
Yeah,
they're not going to make the shows required viewing for the movie.
You know what I would like to see, and it might totally suck. I don't know. I'm not as big of a Star Wars,
especially because the Mandalorian's not even out in Europe yet. You can't get Disney Plus in Europe yet.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't think it's going to be in episode 9.
Yeah. It would be cool to see a Donald Glover led
Lando movie?
Lando show.
Yeah. I don't get Lando.
He was my favorite part of Solo. He's the only part I liked about
He
Solo.
was good in Solo. I just don't understand the love. He's a good side character. He's not a good main character.
I think it's because he shows up, Billy D. Williams shows up once and then that's it.
He's in it twice. He's in the Force, the Return of the Jedi quite a bit. I like Lando. Some Star Wars fans are probably would riot against me for this, but I just don't think he's that great. He's fine.
Yeah, so you make a show that makes him great.
I guess that's true. It could be an interesting show. Donald Glover would do it.
Like Lando's essentially the Black Han Solo, right? Isn't that his whole thing?
I mean, he's
very similar, temperament and stuff to Han Solo.
How dope would it be if a small Mandalorian shows up and takes his helmet off, and it's a little Yoda? What were you saying? Sorry.
Lando is kind of like Han Solo, right?
He is. He's similar. They're both smugglers. They're both swindlers. Lando's more of a businessman. Lando's very much more of a businessman.
Oh, yeah. He plays politics a little bit more than Han Solo, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But let's talk about Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I loved it. Oh, we didn't give we're all over the place. Should we rate Frozen 2 real fast?
I'm
going to give it 3.5 out of 5.
How much did I like it? 2.5. I'm giving it a half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm giving it, if there's 5, no, how many cushions do we give?
5.
5, yeah. So I'm giving it half the cushions.
So, okay.
2.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Like I thought I was going to hate it.
Yeah.
But it's still Frozen. It's still kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Anyway,
it's just princess movies, dude. Like, it's just not my thing.
We already talked about Frozen. Sorry, I just wanted to give the rating. All right, Ford v Ferrari. Christian Bale and Matt Damon are in this wonderful, wonderful movie.
It's not just them. John Bernthal.
Too. Yeah.
John Bernthal, Matt Damon. I don't think John Bernthal gets enough credit for how good he actually did in that movie.
He did a great job, but the two main characters are Christian Bale and Matt Damon's characters.
Yes.
Yeah. But John Bernthal, he did do a very good job.
I would call John Bernthal not a main character, but he's a little bit more than a supporting character, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He plays more of a role in the movie than all the other supporting characters do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But they were just all so fantastic. Like
they were.
In Christian Bale, you can tell he really tried to embody this person. Like he even tried to get the look down. Like it shows pictures. Please tell me Jimmy Kimmel shows up in Ford v Ferrari. I'm not understanding that. Oh, because Matt Damon? Is he talking about from Matt Damon?
Yeah, I think so. No, Jimmy Kimmel's not in the movie.
They show you pictures of Ken. What's his name? Ken. What's the driver's name?
Miles.
Miles. Yeah. They show you pictures of Ken Miles after the movie's over and kind of what happens to him and everything. And Christian Bale really tried to like look like this guy. Like he got real gaunt, and you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at pictures of him right now.
And he does this thing with his nose that even does like what Ken Miles does.
Yeah.
Like it's Christian Bale is when he really cares about a project, you can tell.
Yeah. And he cared about this. And he did a really good job. He knocked it out of the park. You know, this like gruff racer who's very passionate and loves what he does. He's also kind of a jackie. You know.
Oh yeah, he has a temper.
Yeah, he's got a big temper.
Matt Damon is probably the most lovable character of the
whole movie. He's just an overall great guy.
Yeah, he's a decent guy.
Yeah, and
I think he has to do things because this stupid executive that works under Henry Ford II.
Oh my gosh, that executive is a pain in the.
Yeah, keeps sticking his nose in and making Shelby. Carol Shelby do things that he doesn't want to do, like fire Ken Miles and everything like that. But it's just a good biopic about something that you didn't really, if you weren't born in that time or if you weren't in the racing scene, I don't think you this would have been like an event in history that would have stuck in your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like unless you were into racing or into cars or alive in that time.
Yeah.
Because did you know the story before you saw this movie?
No.
Because it happened in what, the
and I don't
60s?
think my parents would know this story either.
They might have a general idea because I'm sure it was played on on national television.
But I think it's the same idea of some really crazy, historical football thing happens 20 years from now, and the only people who are going to remember it are football fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. But this seemed like to be like a movie about, and you never know because we weren't alive in that time, so we don't know what the perception of it was.
Yeah.
But it seems like it was a time of just American, like an American success story more than a racing movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, it was more so about the Americans beating the Italians, essentially. Like if you go down to it, it was a moment of, there wasn't a lot of wealth and prosperity going on, but in Henry, the Ford Motor Company in general was having like down years and stuff like that. Like, he even threatens that the company could go bankrupt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it was not a moment of prosperity.
He sure didn't seem like a nice guy to work for either.
No, he had an ego, like, because he's Henry Ford's grandson or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason why I think non-racing fans would know about it is because the American story behind it. And they won first place in Le Mans, 5 years? 4 or 5 years in a row?
Something like that.
Whereas Ferrari was winning it hands down for years.
Yeah.
It's
a tale of
American
ingenuity and not just American. Ken Miles was instrumental in it, and he's English. Yeah. He was just helping Ford because they were paying him, and it gave him a chance. But
it was just a great movie, man. And watching how these just miraculous machines, it's a tale as old as time. Matt says. And Matt, I know about the big rivalry with Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon. It's I wasn't sure if that's what you were talking about.
They might be talking about the rivalry between Ford Motors and Ferrari, even to this day. But the Kimmel and Matt Damon thing is just a funny joke on his show.
Well, yeah, they're actually really good friends.
Yeah.
Like they do skits all the time.
Yeah,
and there was one episode of Jimmy Kimmel where Jimmy Kimmel spends the whole show roped to an office chair, and Matt Damon runs his show with Jimmy Kimmel with duct tape in his mouth sitting in the corner.
Yeah, they're clearly friends.
They're clearly friends.
Yeah. It's a running joke, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But the show in general, or the movie, was really good. Like we talked about, the acting was good, the music was good, the drama. I will say this though, and maybe you're going to disagree with me. I didn't. So we said spoilers. The Ken Miles at the end of the movie dies, which happened in real life.
Me. Yeah.
I was a little shocked, but not entirely. But it wasn't sad. There was no impact to me.
I felt a little sad when Matt Damon was talking to his son out in the street.
That was sadder.
That was a sad moment. But yeah, it did seem to happen like uneventfully. And I think that was on purpose because Ken Miles like led his whole life. Like he's one of the greatest racers of all time, apparently. Yeah. I mean, he's been inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame, I think it said at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But he died as very little known.
Mm-hmm.
He lived. Not many people knew him. You know what I mean? So I think it was just adding to that point in the story to make his death not seem like a big thing. You know what I mean? Until Matt Damon's standing on the street.
Yeah.
Because Matt Damon had a love for this man that the American people did not. Because he wasn't like a Dale Earnhardt or, you know what I mean? One of these guys that would... Because he got cheated out of the first place for the Le Mans. Right?
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
Oh, dude, I was pissed for him. But
he
got cheated out of that. He was consistently trying to be like they were trying to fire him from the Ford racing team. He had a temper. The IRS took his garage away. You know what I mean? Like the guy led a pretty like low life, right? If you count those kind of things,
sure.
Right? But and then the death in the movie making it seem uneventful kind of like was fitting for the way this man lived his life.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I could see why they did it that way.
Yeah, maybe that's a fair point. I just I found that moment, it was earned, but they just did it wrong.
I wish there was more emotion.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I did like the Matt Damon scene though at the end with the son.
That was a really beautiful
and watching
scene.
Matt Damon kind of like, and he gets the wrench that he had framed at the beginning of the movie and like gives it to the son and gives a subtle wave to
that was a sweet
to the wife, and it was a really nice moment.
Yeah.
Matt Damon knocks this movie out of the park.
He's an incredible actor. The man's really good. But yeah, it's getting late. I have to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Do we want to give it a rating and call it a night, or did you still want to talk about Black Friday purchases?
Oh, I just got a lot of pops for Black Friday and some movies. Okay. The movie deals were pretty good, dude. Did you get any movies?
Yeah, I got Stuber, Aquaman, right. And I ended up buying The Martian extended edition, so another Matt Damon movie. Extended
edition? What's extended about it?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched the extended edition. It's a few minutes longer.
I picked up Avengers Endgame, John Wick 3, all in 4K, and X-Men Dark Phoenix because even $7 was too much to pay for this movie, but I paid it anyways. But no, I got the whole 10-inch set of Funko Deadpools.
Yeah, you were showing me those.
Let me grab it real quick.
Sounds good. I also got the Complete Matrix trilogy and Hellboy. And then I also got this wonderful game right here. Well, I don't know if it's wonderful yet. Kingdom Hearts 3. Hopefully it's good. And that doesn't sound good in there. I had to take it back. And I hope I don't have to take it back again.
Is it loose around?
It feels loose.
There were several that I picked up that were loose. So I'm only going to show these two. But there's a 10-inch golden Deadpool.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got him. I waited in line for this. Went back that night and saw this little guy sitting on the shelf, which is the X-Force 10-inch Deadpool. And these things are rather large, Max. You can testify how
they're huge.
big these things are. And then one more thing that I'm especially proud about. Well, actually, I guess you could say two more things.
Okay, show us.
These are extremely hard to find, and luckily I was in a small. He
does need a pop intervention, man. This guy has way too many freaking
This is Darth Vader. I don't know. Is that coming through?
Yeah, I can see it.
And then
Dark Vader, as I called him when I was a kid, because I didn't know any better.
And then something I'm especially proud about that's not pop related.
Chia Pet Deadpool. That one's pretty cool.
All right. Even the Chia Pet has more hair than I do. But yeah, I basically got a lot of toys. We got the kids some Christmas presents. We bought Lego DC villains for the Nintendo Switch. It was only $15.
Nice. Yeah, I got a couple. I got some games on my Xbox store as well. Call of Duty World War II and Infinite Warfare. I enjoy the campaigns on those, so I picked those up. Got a couple of Google Home minis because they were like $20 a piece. And,
I bought an Alexa Dot.
It was got these headphones for Sony. I've been traveling more for work, and I wanted some good noise canceling headphones, and so I picked those up. And
I have no idea how like noise canceling headphones make such a difference, dude. Because I have my Beats, my over-the-ear Beats that are noise canceling, and then I also have my Apple AirPods, and the Apple AirPods are great for when I'm just like casually listening to music. Yeah. But when you're on an airplane, dude, nothing beats.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try these out this weekend because I'm going on another work trip, and that's one of the things. I like to download movies and TV shows on my.
Did you read what he said?
Son, Dad, can I get a toy, Lance? No, son, because if you buy a toy, I can't afford mine. It's true.
I have a lot of toys.
True. But yeah, I'm going on a work trip this weekend, and I like to watch shows on the plane. And one of the things that annoys me is when I go on these trips, like I just like currently have been using normal like my Google Pixels headphones that came with the phone.
Yeah.
And again, they're kind of like the AirPods. They're nice for casual, listening around at work or home or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like lugging around my big things if I don't have to.
Yeah, but on a plane, I hate them because the engine's so loud I can't hear anything. So I'm excited to try these out. I hope they work. If not,
no, I know several people that have those headphones. They love them. Those are the Sony ones, right?
Yeah, they're not the most expensive ones, but they have noise canceling. They're usually $200, and they were $90.
Yeah, I know someone specifically that has those ones that got them last Black Friday when they were $100.
Yeah,
and she loves them.
Yeah, I'm excited to take them on this work trip, and they sound better than any headphones I currently have anyway. Yeah. So that'll be cool.
I gotta tell you, dude, my friend bought some skull candies that like the bass was so loud it was shaking my earlobes.
Skull candies are pretty good.
Yeah, I was surprised.
The brand recognition isn't as good, but they're good.
Well, they used when I was in high school, or around that time. Remember they first came out. They were known as like crappy headphones. Like, you go to Walgreens and buy a pair of skull candies for like $20.
Yeah.
They were like JVCs or whatever. And now you go in and they have like $200 headphones.
Yeah. Well, now JBLs, I think is what you're talking about. Those are good too. There's a lot of good headphones out there.
No, there was JVCs.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, JBL's something complete. JBL's always been pretty decent.
Yeah.
We've had PAs and stuff made by JBL, but JVCs made like the little cassette tapes that you put inside video cameras.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
those were the headphones you bought.
Yeah.
Cheap shit headphones.
All right. Well, let's give a rating of Ford v Ferrari and sign off.
I think I'm going to give it, and I want to watch it again, and this time not in a D box because I felt like
D-box
it was pointless to watch this movie in D-box, and I almost felt like it was distracting a little bit because it was supposed to be a serious movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
It's exactly what I'm going to give it, 4 out of 5. Kind of just knocked it down a little tick because I really felt like the death at the end just wasn't impactful.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that good. So, same rating, 4 out of 5. But yeah, that'll do it for us tonight. Thanks for tuning in. You'll get one more Lance and I in person episode next week. We'll talk about Force Awakens.
It won't be live because I'll be driving during the time that we're doing
usually
the show.
Live, yeah.
Yeah, when we're usually live. So it'll be a pre-recorded thing, but it'll be available to you on Saturday.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. As usual, you can find us on Facebook at Couch Crunchers, Twitter at Couch Crunchers, Instagram at Couch Crunchers, on our website, www.couchcrunchers.com.
Newly redesigned website.
Newly redesigned. Yep. We've got some cool new features on there. Very excited about that. And as we've announced in the past, we do have some cool giveaways we're going to be doing once we reach another 50-mile subscriber on YouTube. So please subscribe to us on YouTube. But yeah, until next time, nerds out.
Keep on geeking on.
Yeah, there you go. I can't find the end broadcast button. So.
Turn it off, Max. Turn it off.
Ciao.
I need to poo.